Back on the Chamber Report, we have something for our member businesses to tune into right now and listen to, because there's a special program that the state of Minnesota and the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development have going. With us from the state is Ray McCoy. Ray, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. All right, so there is a program called the Employer Reasonable Accommodation Fund. One, let's talk what that is and what its primary goal is.
Sure. So the Employer Reasonable Accommodations Fund's primary goal is to help promote inclusivity with small to medium-sized businesses throughout the state of Minnesota. And we realize that with small to medium-sized businesses, they want to do the right thing by, giving people with disabilities a chance.
Sure.
But at the same time, when it comes to purchasing reasonable accommodations, sometimes that could put a strain on their budget. So what we do is that we help them by offsetting costs to those accommodations. So a business can apply through us and they show the proofs of purchase, and we can actually reimburse them up to $30,000 per fiscal year.
Wow. How cool is that? So what types of accommodations does and I'm going to call this the ERAF instead of the Employer Reasonable Accommodation Fund, just so you understand as we go through. So what types of accommodations, you mentioned them, typically what does that fund cover, and how do these accommodations help employees with disabilities?
Sure. So ERAF has a wide range of, a variety of different types of accommodations they could cover. Usually it could be anything from helping, employers make their buildings or their place of businesses more accessible through, ramps, making their bathrooms more accessible for if they have an employee or an applicant who is in a wheelchair, to, other things outside of the box, such as implementing assistive technology through the means of AI. So let's say that somebody has, may have some sort of learning disability or something. They might benefit from something like Speechify to help them read through documents, or Chat GPT as a means to help them write out, different memos or documents needed to do their functions. Overall, though, as long as that reasonable accommodation falls under what the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, defines, which is any change to the application or hiring process, to the job, or to the environment in which the employee with disabilities, is working in order for them to be effective at their job, that's something that, ERAF could reimburse.
And when you say small to medium businesses, what kind of a range are we talking here for employees? Obviously, a small business could be as simple as one.
Sure.
What does it lead up to what does the state consider a medium-sized business?
Sure. So in order to qualify for, ERAF reimbursement, a business has to have less than 500 employees, and they cannot make any more than $5 million in gross annual revenue, and obviously have to be domiciled in Minnesota. Just want to add that piece in there.
All right, so how can small and medium-sized businesses in Minnesota apply for ERAF funding, and what are the eligibility requirements?
So, as mentioned, the eligibility requirements are, being domiciled in Minnesota, have, 500 employees or less, and then make less than $5 million in gross annual revenue. The way they would apply is that they would go to our website, which is, you can just type in DEED/ERAF or Employer Reasonable Accommodation Fund. It'll take you right there, and then they can apply right on our website.
Great. All right, so there's got to be some great stories, some success stories that you have had an opportunity to deal with as this program has moved forward. Any of those you want to share?
Sure. There's actually a couple that I was just kind of thinking about, but one in particular was actually a most recent one where the person was a solopreneur, and they had, symptoms from long COVID. They were running a business. They needed some assistance in doing so, because the long-term COVID was something that really, it really basically limited what they could do.
Sure.
So they were able to, we sat down, spoke with them, saying, okay, what things did they need? They needed assistance with carrying packages in order to send out packages, or other pieces just to run daily operations, more so because of the fact that one of their things with the long COVID was fatigue, and that was, so we were able to, get their stuff in. was able to, after looking over their case, we were able to actually reimburse them quite a bit. And,
Wow.
now they're able to thrive, so.
Life-changing for those people. That's tremendous. This all just sounds right. And I will tell you, these people, they want to work. And if you at your business can set it up for them to be able to work, you're going to have some dedicated employees on your hands. And the great part with DEED, again, that is the Minnesota Department of Economic Development, is here to help you. And this new program, the Employer Reasonable Accommodation Fund, is there to help you make your business accessible to get those employees that just want to work. And they will work. And we all keep hearing about the employment situation and how it's hard to find good folks who want to work. Well, I'm telling you, I bet if you do this, I bet you're going to get some people that you're going to be real happy with. All right, Ray. There's somebody out there right now, one of those businesses going, this sounds really good. How do I learn more? Who can I talk to? I got some questions. I'd really like to dive into this thing. How would somebody get more information?
Well, you can reach out to me at 651-539-2390 and also via email at eraf.deed@state.mn.us. One thing I do want to highlight is that every month we have an information session that, we're trying to reach out to businesses and get them going on this. So, right now we're still in the midst of, putting that together for, the end of this month, but we will have that up here shortly, which will be listed on our website. So definitely stay tuned, or if you would like to, get some information on that, reach out to me.
Excellent. Again, his name is Ray McCoy. He's with the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. It just sounds like a great program, something you should peek at. And when the funding's in play, it works for everybody. Ray, again, that number that they can reach you?
651-539-2390.
Hey, thanks for being on the show. Come back down the line. Let's see how the program's going and if there's any updates.
I will do that.
That would be great. All right, we're taking a break. When we come back, it's time to rock, and we're going to do it right here in the Chamber Report.